Hello and welcome to Startup Street. I'm Shruti Mishra and with me is Arundhati Ramanan. These are the top headlines from the startup space. Ratan Tata invests an undisclosed capital into Goodfellows, a startup that offers companionship to senior citizens as a service. The company has been working with 20 elders for the last 6 months in its beta phase in Mumbai and is planning to offer services in Pune, Chennai and Bangalore next.
InfoEdge invests 300 crore rupees in its subsidiary Startup Investments. The company said in a regulatory filing, InfoEdge holds a 100% stake in Startup Investments, which is a holding and investment company. The capital would help SIHL to explore investment opportunities, including contribution to AIFs managed by Smart Web Internet Services.
Digital lending platform Abhiloans gets $4.5 million in debt and equity from DMI Sparkle Fund along with other prominent angel investors. The funds raised in the current round will be allocated for technology development and the growth of the loan book.
Technology incubator T-Hub launches the semiconductor cohort of the AIC T-Hub Foundation program to foster innovation and entrepreneurship across the semiconductor sector startups. This is a 6-month-long hybrid cohort-based program that will mentor 20 firms.
Razorpay makes its offline foray with the acquisition of point-of-sale machines provider EasyTap. The fintech giant brought an 80% stake in EasyTap as per an Entracker report.
Chinese tech giants including Alibaba, Tencent and ByteDance have submitted details to a state regulator of algorithms used in some of their products as per an AFP report. The country's internet watchdog published a list of 30 algorithms that companies use to gather information on users and promote content on services. In March, China rolled out regulations obliging firms to disclose those tools as concerns grow about data misuse.
Twitter needs to give Elon Musk documents from a former Twitter executive who Musk said was a key figure in calculating the amount of fake accounts on the platform, according to a Delaware court order. Twitter was ordered to collect, review and produce documents from former general manager of consumer product Kayvon Bakepor.
Apple has set a September 5th deadline for corporate employees to return to office at least 3 days a week. Bloomberg News reported the company, which told its employees that the new plan will require employees to work from the office on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and a regular third day that will be determined by individual teams, the report added. Those were the headlines that we're tracking for you this evening, but on what's brewing today, Fairfax-backed Digit Insurance is readying to make its Dalal Street debut. Sources tell CNBC-TV18 that the company is likely to file its draft red herring prospectus this week and will raise around 5,000 crore rupees via fresh issue and offer for sale. Yash Jain is here with all of those details. Yash, what are you picking up?
Well, that is correct. Digit General Insurance has filed its IPO DRHP with market regulator SEBI, and it's after 5 years that a general insurance company is planning to come out with its IPO. The last time it happened was in 2017 when New India Assurance as well as ICICI Lombard launched their IPOs, and after that it's straight 2022 when Digit General Insurance is planning to do the same thing. As far as the IPO itself is concerned, it's a large issue. Sources tell us that the total size of Digit's IPO could be around 5,000 crore rupees, out of which about 1,250 crore rupees would be fresh issue, which means those funds will come into the company, and the balance 3,750 crore rupees would be the offer for sale, the money that would be taken out by the selling shareholders. As far as valuations are concerned, sources tell us that the IPO is expected to value Digit General Insurance at about 30,000 to 35,000 crore rupees. Compare that to some of the listed players. For ICICI Lombard, the market cap currently is about 62,750 crore rupees. For New India Assurance, the market cap is about 14,593 crore rupees. To that, Digit will have a valuation of about 30 to 35,000 crore rupees.
Thank you, Yash, for those details. Appreciate you joining us. Moving on, education fee payments is one of the most important and high-value spend category for parents. The category has seen little innovation and is lagging in digitization, according to our next guest. On the hot seat today, we put the spotlight on Jodo, a fintech startup in the educational payment space. The venture claims its payment and lending products keep the requirements of parents, students, and educational institutes in focus. Jodo also recently raised its Series A funding round of $15 million led by Tiger Global. And to talk to us about the road ahead, joining me now is Jodo's co-founder and CEO, Atulya Bhatt. Atulya, welcome to Startup Street. Now, Jodo offers a suite of specialized payment and lending products to make fee payments convenient and affordable for parents of students, while also making fee collection hassle-free for educational institutes. If you could elaborate on your model, how is it a win-win for both parents and schools?
First of all, thank you so much for having me on the show. So our products are designed to make fee payments convenient for parents and students, right? So where we enable them to pay in a way which is most convenient to them. So they can choose to pay their fee monthly, they can choose to pay their fee quarterly, they can choose to pay a fee in a schedule which is most convenient to them. And for the educational institutes, actually collecting fees from thousands of parents and students is a big hassle. So we streamline the entire process. We digitize the entire process so that they can collect their fees with minimal effort and focus on what they do best, which is providing education.
So with Jodo's products, institutes are able to offer multiple flexible payment options. But Atulya, tell me how you're increasing fee realization for schools and digitizing the entire collection process. If you could take me through your technology and your offerings.
Yeah, so actually, education payments has seen very little innovation, right? So, but payments in India has seen a lot of innovation, like around retail, around e-commerce, there's been a lot of innovation, but education payments is slightly different. Education payment is a high spend category, which means that you pay a large amount, you pay it every year, and you pay it in lump sum, right? So if education institutes have to offer flexible payment options, they need very specific technology solutions, which is what we which is what we provide, right? So education institutes find it hard to collect from thousands of parents and students, and a lot of fees actually not even collected by the end of the year, right? With our payment solutions, they're able to realize 100% of the fee in a shorter period of time and are able to provide flexible payment offerings to students and parents.
Okay. Atulya, I want to know and understand, how are you getting the money to finance these EMIs? How does that work? And if you could talk to me about the kind of partnerships you've built with NBFCs or banks.
Yeah, we are a technology player, right? So we build technology solution, we build technology workflows. We work with multiple NBFCs and banks at the back end to enable these innovative products, to bring these innovative products to life. Right. We also work with multiple payment aggregators. We work with banks and NBFCs, like I mentioned, and we build just the technology layer to make it appropriate for education payments.
Okay. Atulya, you also claim that you've grown 10x year on year since inception. If you could take me through your reach and the current business growth numbers that you're seeing.
Yeah. So today we work with about 700 plus educational institutes. Today we work with schools, we work with colleges, we work with universities, we work with online learning platforms, we work with coaching institutes, and we've been able to grow 10x year on year because the product we provide solves a very key pain point of educational institutes. Right, for us, the growth plan in the next 12 months is to reach about 5,000 educational institutes and to serve about 1.5 million parents and students, and making their fee payments convenient and affordable. Right, so that's our plan. We plan to be in the top institutes in the top 50 cities in the country.
Okay, all right. We'll get to that a little later in the show, but what is the revenue model you've devised for yourself? If you could elaborate on Jodo Flex, how much fees have you processed till date and that offering?
Yeah, so so our business model is very simple, actually. Like any payment business, for every payment processed by us, we charge a transaction fee. In most cases, the transaction fee is borne by the educational institute. We've actually processed about 1,000 crores plus in the last 12 months. And we plan to take that up about 10x in the next 12 months.
All right. Atulya, let's now talk about your recent fundraise. You've raised $15 million at Series A with Tiger Global leading the round. Take me through the fund allocation plans, and with Tiger Global now on board, what is the kind of impact you hope to create?
We are very, very happy that Tiger is backing our mission to sort of build this company. Very grateful for that, and our existing investors, Matrix and Elevation as well. So fund allocation will go to two broad areas. One is expansion to more institutes. Like I mentioned, we aim to be in about 5,000 educational institutes in the next 12 months. Second is on product innovation. We'll continue to build cutting-edge products in payments and lending specific to the use case of education fee payments.
Okay, like you said, we were talking about your future growth targets, and you plan to scale up your education partnerships to 5,000 institutes in the next 18 months and help 1.5 million students with their fee payments. You also gave us a slight hint of what your new offerings could be. What makes you bullish on achieving these growth targets, and specifically, what are the new offerings going to be?
Yeah, I think what we have sort of seen is a rapid adoption of our products. So when we go to an educational institute and sort of demonstrate our products, there is an instant adoption of it. They instantly feel the need for it. They instantly sort of see the pain point which we are trying to solve. So that gives us confidence that we can actually scale at a rapid pace because we believe that we've hit what we call as product market fit. Right, so that's what gives us the confidence of these growth numbers.
Sure.
Specifically on the products, look, we are a very education-focused financial services player. We think that education fee payments is a large market, but largely has been left ignored, and not a lot of innovation has happened. And we will build payment and lending products both for parents and for educational institutes to make the entire fee payments more efficient and streamlined.
Okay, all right, Atulya, we've completely run out of time, but wish you the very best in all your expansion plans and growth forward. Many thanks for joining us on Startup Street today.
Thank you so much.
Moving on. From Kashmiri shawls and Bhagalpuri handloom saris to Bidri metal artworks, India's artisanal products are well known around the world. Creative MSMEs not only contribute majorly to India's exports, but also form the second largest employer base in rural India after agriculture. With the pandemic snapping traditional supply chains, it's become imperative to digitize these creative MSMEs for global wholesale and protect the livelihoods of rural artisans. My colleague Akhil Vishwanath brings the story of Lal 10, which is doing exactly that. Take a look.
This unit in Noida makes traditional Indian hand-woven fabric, which is much loved in the global markets. There are over 1 million similar craft-based MSMEs spread across rural India. During the pandemic, most of these MSMEs suffered as old supply chains with exhibitions, trade shows, and export houses collapsed. But what the pandemic also brought afoot was the power of the smartphone. And using the smartphone, a startup is helping these rural craft-based businesses connect with global buyers. The startup is Lal 10, and it calls itself the Alibaba for India's creative MSMEs.
We are trying to integrate these MSMEs, which are over 1 million across the countries, spread in tier 3, 4, 5 belts, and not the tier 1 and metros of our country, and connect them or enable technology to them so that they can source raw materials, they can source finance, more importantly, they can digitize their products, which they have it in their own shops and warehouses, so that these products become live on their own web stores on our platform, and eventually reach out to larger buyers, which are in Japan, Middle East, US, and Europe.
Since Lal 10's inception in 2017, more than 2,000 creative MSMEs have digitized over 45,000 SKUs on the cross-border platform for global wholesale. Most of these MSMEs come from hubs such as Amroha, Pochampalli, Varanasi, Bhagalpur, Phulia, and Bhuj, among others. And these crafty MSMEs make traditional Indian products across categories such as fabric, apparel, and home decor. For Ekmatra, which has its origins in Etah, Uttar Pradesh, with a Swadeshi Connect, the pandemic had cut the thread, taking away all external orders.
We were working with about 3,000 weavers at the one point of time. And if you close everything, right, and people don't come in, then it's a break for them also. And in this field, they diversify very fast. So getting people back onto line is very difficult. Funds also had become a problem for us But with Lantern there's no blockage of finances. The basic statement is that you don't have any problem with the buyer. That is the most important thing.
Now, Ikmatha's weavers and tailors are back at the looms and sewing machines. In a similar fashion, Laltan is helping many such MSMEs restart operations in the post-pandemic era by giving them consistent orders. At some units, it is blocking nearly 80% of production and facilitating exports to reliable retailers in as many as 18 countries. To find global buyers, Laltan is not only building B2B platforms specific to geographies, such as launching a Japan-dedicated platform which is entirely in Japanese. Laltan also has a design team that is helping the age-old manufacturers adopt modern designs to suit international taste. Laltan's curations today form nearly 30% of the catalogue on its platform. These efforts helped Mohsin Siddiqui, who has kept alive the centuries-old tradition of block printing by hand, bag his first international order just 6 months ago, and re-employ several artisans he had to let go during the pandemic. Now, the rhythmic thud of shisham wood and cloth inside his facility is unmissable to a passerby.
कोविड की वजह से हम उनसे कोई ज़्यादा टाइप अप नहीं कर पाए। कोरोना के बाद जो है मेरे को जो है ना इनका सॉफ्ट होम के लिए और मतलब होम्स के लिए मेरे पास जो है ऑर्डर आने लगे हैं। अभी मेरे पास जो एक ऑर्डर आया है वो यूएसए का ऑर्डर है और जो यूएसए का ऑर्डर है उसमें बेडशीट, बेड कवर, उसमें रनर है अपना और नैपकिन है और तम मंथली जो है इनकम मेरी जो है लालटेन से 5+ में हो जाती है। 5 लाख, 6 लाख, 10 लाख के बीच में आ जाता है। अप एंड डाउन ऐसा चलता रहता है। पहले मेरा तकरीबन था 4 लाख, 3 लाख।
After raising $5.5 million in pre-Series A fundraise led by Huge Ventures of the Xander Group and Beyond Capital Ventures, Laltan wants to scale its annual revenues from $8 million to $100 million in the next 12 to 18 months, with a strong focus on home textile category in tie-ups with micro-entrepreneurs like Mohsin. For this, Laltan plans to double its coverage to 4,500 creative MSMEs, expanding beyond its 7 existing hubs.
So we just attended a trade fair in Japan that was in the 3rd week of July, where we actually got to meet a lot of large-sized and mid-sized brands, right? Likes of Muji, likes of Toyoshima. So the prospect of taking the local product to global is something which has a huge potential, right? And that's what we are trying to cover with all of these production centers and satellite offices. For next 1 year growth, we have kind of identified another 35 locations. So that by end of next year, we'll be having 42 more of production centers and satellite offices live, which are again spread across around 12 to 13 states in India.
Through Laltan, at least 2,000 creative micro-entrepreneurs in Tier 3 and Tier 4 towns in India have been able to get their first international order. But the task at hand is big. In India, export for crafts is dominated by traditional hubs such as Moradabad, Saharanpur and Panipat. If smaller hubs such as Pochampalli, Bhagalpur and Amroha can be digitized, India's export of creative products can surge from $3 billion currently to about $160 billion annually. This is Akhil Vishwanath for CNBC-TV18 with camera person Lakshman Singh.
On that note, it is time for us to head into a short break. But coming up next, StockGrow is a social investment platform providing an interactive virtual interface that enables users to learn and participate in stock markets. A special conversation with the founder and CEO Ajay Lakhotia on the company's future plans on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still with us on Startup Street. It's time for our special segment, Elevator Pitch, where we put the spotlight on some of India's most innovative startups. StockGrow is a social investment platform which provides an interactive virtual interface that enables users to learn about and participate in the stock markets. Now, founded in 2020, the company inculcates financial market knowledge through its in-app learning section, where viewers get crisp, easy-to-comprehend analysis on individual stocks, sectors, trending macroeconomic events, the impact of policies on financial markets, and technical and fundamental indicators. And to talk about the company's growth plans and future targets is Ajay Lakhotia, the founder and CEO of StockGrow. Ajay, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Now, like I said, you're a social investment startup with a gamified virtual interface that enables users to discover trading strategies and compete and interact with others. So can you tell me how exactly this works and how are you creating value for your users?
Sure. Aru, thanks for having us here on your show. Think of it like this. Our education system our social structure always teaches us how to save money, but no one really teaches us how to invest money. If you take a step back, look at this whole phenomenon of investing money in stocks or other asset classes, you'll realize it is perhaps the largest consensus-based social commerce activity. At Stockgrow, we are bringing this whole offline discussion, murmur, chatter online and building a layer of intelligence on top of all of this, helping investors, users take informed decision around investing.
Right. So can you tell me the kind of products that you have on offer? What's your target audience and any new products in the pipeline?
Sure. So at Stockgrow, we are basically helping users overcome two major issues. One, fear of losing money in stocks or other asset classes. And second, they don't understand jargons. So we are helping them overcome all of these challenges by giving them a social trading platform with mock portfolios, virtual cash, to mimic how the stock market works. Along with this, we give them complete social learning ecosystem and bite-sized content for them to learn different topics very quickly. The users that we are targeting are primarily in the age group of 20 to 30, usually in their first or second job, have just started making money and want to now start investing in different asset classes, including stocks, bonds, mutual funds.
Right.
We are currently there with stocks, but we'll soon be adding bonds, mutual funds, all the other assets for people to build a holistic portfolio.
Right. So you're targeting people between 20 and 30, and you're helping people get over that fear of investing in the markets. And speaking of asset classes, what are the current asset classes that you're present in, and how many are you looking to expand into? Which are you seeing the most traction for at this point?
So Aru, as of now, we are restricted primarily to stocks, and we generally nudge users to dabble into Nifty 500 stocks. We are also enabling people to discuss different crypto assets. And at the same time, we are launching futures and options and commodities, which we feel are the most high engagement categories.
All right. So futures and options is also something you're looking at, and stocks is what you're currently in. So how do you make money as a business? Can you take us through the business model that you currently have?
Sure. Aru, it's a very simple freemium model where people get access to almost everything for free.
Right.
And then they start paying for advanced features like, say, advanced charting, influencer chat groups. If they want to look at some of the trading stats of other users, or they want to look at the portfolio of the pro participants on Stockgrow, that's where they start paying us for it.
All right. So it's largely a freemium model. But what are the kind of revenues that you've clocked so far, and where do you expect to end this year?
Aru, I think we should be able to close this year at around $60 to $70 million.
Right.
But let's see where it goes.
Right. So you might close this year at $60 to $70 million. And what about competition? Why don't you take us through your competitors, and how do your offerings stand out from them?
Aru, I think we are very uniquely positioned in the market.
Right.
And very honestly speaking, we don't have competitors. We have a lot of collaborators. The whole idea is that we are building this large funnel for the whole fintech ecosystem, right? And the users who are now joining Stockgrow over a period of time, once they learn how to trade, invest in stocks, they would now want to go and open their broking accounts. Some of these users would want to open their new bank accounts. So we are hand-holding, guiding them throughout their investment journey, not just now when they start this, but across next couple of years as they start doing their real investments.
All right. So you guide them throughout this journey. And what about fundraising plans for you? Are you looking for funds? If yes, where will the funds go?
We have some of the most prolific investors globally who are now on our cap table, including Bitcraft, General Catalyst, Roots, Velo. Honestly, we are already at a break-even, so not really actively looking to fundraise, but we see a lot of inbound interest from some of the global investors who would probably want to preempt the round. If we raise new round, we'll be primarily raising it to expand globally, and then to build a war chest at our end.
All right, Ajay, we wish you all the best on this journey going forward. But thank you so much for joining us on the show. We're completely out of time.
Thank you.
And with that, it is a wrap on this edition of Startup Street. More news and updates coming up on the other side. Stay tuned.